Guys, very important news today about a potential delisting of US-listed Chinese equities. Today we got the news here, an official statement by the PCAOB, and right now I'm actually at a conference, but I managed to sneak out and just do this little quick video and give you my take. So far, to my understanding, the resume here must be that Chinese US-listed ADRs are staying listed at a New York Stock Exchange. Because the news is here, the PCAOB secures complete access to inspect, investigate Chinese firms for the first time in history. So this was all of this exercise, where the PCAOB has flown to Hong Kong. Over there, they have received all of the documentation necessary in order to do the checks, whether or not the auditors have done a proper job on auditing Chinese firms. Well, and here they come to the conclusion that on December 15th, the PCAOB board voted to vacate previous determinations to the contrary. So those previous determinations would have been that there is no access to those documents and that there is no PCAOB oversight. So that has been removed now, and going forward, this means that there will be regular investigations and this normal matter of compliance. And speaking of compliance, they're outlining here that those books and the work by the auditors in mainland China and Hong Kong have been thoroughly tested. So what was important here is that they get full access to all of the work and also are not interrupted, for example, let's say from the mainland China side. And they outline here that the PCAOB inspectors and investigators were able to view complete audit work papers with all information included, and the PCAOB was able to retain information as needed. Also, the PCAOB had direct access to interview and take testimony from all personnel associated with the audits in the PCAOB inspected or investigated. And so, they're saying investors are now better protected because, of course, this oversight is now in place. And going forward, as I said, they will resume regular inspections in early 2023 and beyond of that. So I was only able to briefly scan this so far, but this should be the news that we've all been waiting for. In my point of view, this means that the delisting issue is off the table for now. There might be delistings whenever, let's say, a company is not compliant with any of the rules in place. Of course, like if there's fraud, or if they are not being able to inspect a specific company, for example, or if it turns out, let's say, like the books are cooked, that could still be the case, but that's, with every company. And then where I don't have the full picture yet is, what else could still happen in this regard. Maybe there is still some political issues involved in this whole issue here, but on the hard facts, on the regulatory body and authority side, I think this should be really the groundwork that has now been done and is checked and everything to the satisfaction to those auditors there. So let's hope this is it. What it means is that those institutional investors, pension funds, big banks and so on, that possibly have stayed out of this market and have not invested in Chinese ADR because of such a matter, because they would only be able to invest, for example, in the US and not owning Hong Kong stock, for example, those can now come back and accumulate those Chinese names, I would say. So this may potentially take some time until everything, has been gotten approval, let's say, from managements and whatever. And so surely, if you look at the price action today, it's not the big spike that we or some would have expected, right? But there was seriously some front running, I would assume. Somebody possibly knew or has positioned for it. And so over time, I think it would just help those equities in general and should help the space in order to provide more liquidity and also more demand for Chinese equities in general. And frankly, they're at very low valuations right now, so that's actually also a good incentive to actually go into that space and get some exposure to China. That's my point of view. I think it should be particularly good for small caps, those that don't have a secondary listing, those that would fear to be entirely delisted and have nowhere to trade. And so, for example, Xunlei, Sap Health, and so on, those kind of small caps that are not listed in Hong Kong should now be eased in terms of getting more exposure again to hopefully some investors. And this also means from my side that I will resume really the public coverage of those names, maybe some smaller names as well, because this threat of a delisting seems now to be eliminated. Let me know down in the comments if you have a different view, if you got more insight, or something that may still standing in the way here, but that's how I'm reading it. Big news for today. I just did this on the fly here. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you guys for watching. Like it and share it, and then see you in the next video.